At 11:23 p.m. on my fourth night alone in Hartwell's Antique Mall, I heard the music box in the sealed display case begin to play, not the thin mechanical wind down of a dying spring, but full-throated and close, as if the melody were unspooling from somewhere behind my teeth. I turned toward it and the case was still locked, still dark, and the music had stopped. When I turned back to the register, the woman standing in the center of the main aisle had no reflection in any of the 6 mirrors lining the walls behind her. Something was wrong with my arms before my mind understood why, stiff at the elbows, hands gripping cold wood, and the room around me was completely dark. I work estate clearances in the Dayton, Ohio area, one-day jobs out of Beaver Creek and Kettering, walking through 1,000 dead people's rooms and pricing their keepsakes for pennies, and I thought I'd seen every strange thing an old house could hold. The Victorian rocking chair came out of a fire sale lot off Wilmington Pike in September 2021. I paid $200 for an entire garage, and the chair was the best thing in it, ivory painted, high-backed, a carved crest rail filled in with pale blue forget-me-nots. I listed it at $80. Within 3 weeks it had come back 4 times. Each return was worse than the last. The first couple came back the morning after purchase, the woman's knuckles white on her keys. She said only that it didn't fit the space. A retired schoolteacher left it on my porch at 2 in the morning with a note that said sorry, just sorry. The fourth buyer brought it back without eye contact, without a word, and I stopped listing it after that. I brought the chair home rather than trash it, set it in the corner of my living room off Mad River Road. For the first 3 nights, nothing happened. I remember thinking the buyers had all just been strange, the kind of people who spook at old wood and can't explain why. I remember that thought very clearly, the way you always remember your last ordinary one. On the 4th night I woke in the dark sitting in the rocker, both hands on the armrests, no memory of leaving my bed. I told myself sleepwalking and set a glass of water on the seat, so I'd knock it over if I came back. In the morning the glass was undisturbed. That night I woke in the chair again, and the glass was on the floor beside me, empty and upright, as if someone had carefully moved it before I sat down. By the end of that week I had a bruise on my left forearm in the shape of a hand, 4 narrow fingers, the kind of grip that doesn't let go. The living room had taken on a cold that had nothing to do with the thermostat, something I could feel the moment I stepped into the doorway, a wall of it. On a Thursday I set up a security camera, aimed it at the chair, and went to bed. I sat at my kitchen table for a long time Friday morning before I could make myself watch it a second time. At 2:47 a.m., a woman in a white dress was seated in the rocker, rocking slowly, hair loose, face covered. She rocked for 41 minutes. I was in the bedroom down the hall the whole time, the light under my door was visible in the footage, steady and still. I called my brother Marcus, who drove over from Beaver Creek that afternoon and watched all 41 minutes on my laptop without speaking, then watched it again. Marcus did 2 tours. He is not a man who shakes. When he finally looked up, I saw something on his face I had never seen before, not fear, but something steadier, something that looked almost like recognition. He said he wanted to take the chair. I drove to his apartment on Colonel Glenn Highway Sunday evening and his neighbor told me he hadn't been there since Friday. I found him at our mother's old house, the one he'd spent 2 years trying to sell. Truck in the driveway, boxes in the hall. He was in the rocking chair in the front room, both hands flat on the armrests, staring at the front door, and he would not answer his name. I found the estate file afterward. The previous owner died alone, weeks before anyone noticed, and they found her in the rocking chair. Marcus still hasn't spoken to me, and I cannot get him out of that house, and I don't know anymore if it's him I'm trying to reach or something that's using his face. If you ever come across something everyone else has already returned, something no one will explain, leave it where you found it. Some things are returned for a reason. That road wasn't the only place something found me. 6 weeks after all of that, I drove out to a foreclosure sale in rural Tennessee and bought a tarnished brass hand mirror for $6, and I want to be clear about what happened after, because I need someone to know. I'd been doing estate pickups out of Knoxville for going on 4 years, knew every backroad auction in a 100-mile radius, and I was good at not thinking too hard about whose hands had held the things I bought and sold. The Marsh property sat off Route 11W, outside a town so small it barely had a name. The estate agent, a woman named Pam, mid-50s, sensible shoes, walked me through the rooms and lowered her voice when I picked up the hand mirror from a cardboard box by the front door. She told me the previous owner was a woman named Dolores Marsh, who had walked out of this house one morning in 1974 and was never found. No note, no car, no suitcase, nothing. And Dolores, Pam said, had bought that same mirror at an estate auction just 1 week before she disappeared. I paid $6 for it and thought nothing more about it. Over the next 3 months, 4 different buyers mailed it back to my P.O. box. The 4th one left it on my doorstep at dawn with no note, no return address, nothing to explain why. I locked it face down in a cardboard box in my storage unit on Merchant Drive and told myself I'd deal with it after the holidays. One Tuesday in November, I came downstairs and found it on my kitchen table. Face down. I stood there for a full minute, coffee mug halfway to my mouth, just staring. I had the only key to that storage unit, and it had been on the ring in my jacket pocket all night. I turned it over, and the reflection was wrong, same layout, same window above the sink, but different furniture, older, the kind of yellow formica you only see in photographs from the 60s. A woman stood at the sink with her back to me. Her shoulders moved in that slow, rhythmic way of someone humming to herself, completely still except for that. I set the mirror face down and did not look again for 3 days. 2 weeks later, Carol Marsh called me, Dolores' daughter, 60-something, living in Chattanooga, who had tracked me down through the auction records. She said she'd finally opened a box of her mother's belongings she'd been avoiding for 30 years, and inside was the journal. The last entry was written the night before Dolores vanished, and it was only 1 sentence long. The woman in the mirror finally turned around. She was smiling at me. I told Carol I would destroy it that same day. I drove to the storage unit, shoved the mirror to the very back wall, and buried it under a horse blanket and 2 boxes of old tools. Carol called 3 more times over the next 2 weeks. I saw her name on the screen every time and could not make myself answer. I still don't know why. My landlord called me in December about a water leak and told me the unit was empty, everything I'd stored there gone, except for the mirror standing upright against the back wall, propped perfectly straight, as if someone had placed it there with great care. He said he looked into it for a moment before he called me. The woman inside was facing forward now. And she was smiling. I haven't been back. I stopped answering calls, stopped checking messages, and I won't pretend I understand why, except that some part of me already knows what comes next, and I am not ready for it. So if you're ever walking through a foreclosure sale and you see a tarnished brass mirror sitting alone in a cardboard box, leave it there. Don't pick it up, don't look at your own face in it, and do not, under any circumstances, look too closely at the woman standing behind you in the glass. Because by the time you notice her, she has already noticed you. And she has been waiting a very long time to be seen.
If you made it this far, you're not alone. There are more true stories waiting in the dark. Subscribe to the 3 AM archive and I'll see you at 3 AM.